Right, let's talk about BMW. When you see that blue and white roundel on the bonnet of a car, you probably think of fast saloons, German engineering, and perhaps a bit of spirited driving on a winding country road. But here's a curious thing. The company that became the purveyor of the ultimate driving machine didn't actually start with cars at all. In fact, their first products were designed to go up, not along. BMW, or Bayerische Motoren Werk, began its life way back in 1916, and its business was building airplane engines. It's a bit like finding out your favorite chef started his career as a blacksmith. It's unexpected, but it tells you they know how to handle very hot, very powerful things with precision. These weren't just any old airplane engines, mind you. They were rather good at it. BMW engines were known for their reliability and their ability to perform at high altitudes, which was quite a technological feat at the time. The famous blue and white logo, which many people think represents a spinning propeller against a blue sky, is actually a nod to the colors of the Bavarian flag. Still, the propeller myth has stuck around because it's a brilliant story, and it neatly captures the company's origins in aviation. This foundation in high-performance engineering, where failure is simply not an option, set the stage for everything that was to come. It's a bit like learning to cook in a Michelin-starred kitchen. You learn the fundamentals properly from the very beginning. So, what happened? Why did a successful airplane engine manufacturer decide to start making things with wheels? Well, history happened. After the First World War, the Treaty of Versailles was signed, and one of its many rules was that German companies were forbidden from producing airplane engines. This presented a bit of a pickle for BMW. They had a factory, skilled engineers, and a reputation for building excellent engines, but they weren't allowed to build their main product. It was a classic case of having all the ingredients for a magnificent cake but being told you can only make toast. They had to pivot, as they say in business meetings, and find something new to build. This is where the story really gets interesting. Rather than just shutting up shop, BMW's engineers turned their considerable talents to other forms of propulsion. First came motorcycles, with the R32 in 1923, which featured the brilliant flat twin boxer engine that is still a hallmark of BMW bikes today. Then, a few years later, they dipped their toes into the world of cars. Their first car, the Dixie, was actually a licensed version of the British Austin 7. It wasn't exactly a powerhouse, but it was a start. It was the first step on a very long and very fast road, a journey from building things for the clouds to creating machines that made you feel like you were flying on the ground. After getting their start with the rather humble Dixie, BMW quickly realized that simply building someone else's car wasn't really their style. They were engineers, innovators, and they wanted to put their own stamp on things. It didn't take them long to start designing their own vehicles from the ground up. This is where the BMW we know and love begins to take shape. They applied the same precision and focus on performance that they had used for their airplane engines to their new four-wheeled and two-wheeled creations. The goal was no longer just to build a car, but to build a better car, one that was more engaging and more enjoyable to operate than the competition. One of the most important developments in this era was the introduction of something that would become an unmistakable BMW signature, the kidney grille. It first appeared on the BMW 303 in 1933, a handsome mid-size saloon that was a significant step up from the Dixie. This design feature, two rounded oblong grills sitting side by side, was more than just a decorative flourish. It was a statement. It gave the car a face, a personality. From that moment on, if you saw that distinctive twin-grille design approaching in your rearview mirror, you knew exactly what it was. It's a masterclass in branding, really, creating an identity so strong it has lasted for nearly a century. While the cars were gaining momentum, we mustn't forget the motorcycles. BMW never abandoned its two-wheeled division. In fact, it continued to innovate. The Boxer engine, with its cylinders sticking out into the airflow, was a brilliant design for air cooling and provided a low center of gravity, which made the bikes handle superbly. They became famous for their reliability and comfort, making them favorites for long-distance touring. So, while the car division was busy creating elegant roadsters and saloons, the motorcycle side of the business was cementing BMW's reputation as a builder of robust and brilliantly engineered machines for any journey. It was a two-pronged attack on the world of transport. The post-war era was a challenging time, but it also spurred some of BMW's most creative, if unusual, vehicles. The company needed to get back on its feet, And it did so with things like the Isetta bubble car. It was tiny, with a door that opened at the front, and it was powered by a small motorcycle engine. It was about as far from a high-performance saloon as you could get, but it was exactly what people needed at the time: cheap, efficient transport. This period showed BMW's resilience. They could build the luxurious 507 Roadster for the rich and famous, but they could also build a quirky little car for the masses. It proved they weren't just a one-trick pony. Every great car company has its heroes, the models that everyone remembers, the ones that become posters on bedroom walls. For BMW, one of the first true superstars was the 2002. Launched in the late 1960s, the 2002 was a revelation. It was a small, light two-door saloon that was practical enough for daily errands, but had the heart of a sports car. It handled beautifully, it was quick, and it was enormous fun to drive. The 2002, especially in its fuel-injected TEI and turbo forms, essentially created the concept of the compact sports saloon. It proved that you didn't need a massive, impractical car to have a thrilling driving experience. It was the genesis of the BMW ethos. Building on the success of the 2002, BMW launched what would become its most important and famous model line, the 3 Series. The first 3 Series arrived in 1975, and it took the formula of the 2002 and perfected it. It was a bit bigger, a bit more refined, but it kept that same driver-focused character. Every generation that followed, from the E30 to the E36 and E46, became the benchmark for its class. If a rival company built a new compact saloon, the first question journalists would ask was, is it as good as a 3 Series? More often than not, the answer was no. The 3 Series became the definitive choice for someone who needed a sensible car but secretly wanted a sports car. Of course, you can't talk about legendary BMWs without saying the letter M. M stands for Motorsport, BMW's racing division, which started tuning road cars for public sale in the late 1970s. The first official M-badged car for the public was the M1, a wedge-shaped supercar, but the one that truly defined the brand was the M3. The original E30 M3 was essentially a racing car for the road, built to win touring car championships. It had flared wheel arches, a high-revving 4-cylinder engine, and sublime handling. The M3 and later the M5 established M cars as the ultimate expression of BMW's performance capabilities, blending everyday usability with track-ready power and precision. Beyond the saloons, BMW has also created some of the most beautiful sports cars ever made. The 507 from the 1950s was a stunningly gorgeous roadster, driven by stars like Elvis Presley. It was incredibly expensive and nearly bankrupted the company, but its beauty is undeniable. Then there's the Z8 from the early 2000s, a retro-styled homage to the 507 that even appeared as James Bond's car. These cars weren't about practicality or sales volume, they were about passion. They were halo cars, designed to make you dream, proving that, alongside all the sensible engineering, BMW had a soul and a flair for the dramatic. So what is it that makes a BMW so special? Why has the slogan "the ultimate driving machine" stuck for so long? It's not just one thing, but a combination of ingredients mixed together perfectly. First and foremost, it's the focus on the driver. When you sit in a BMW, you notice that the dashboard is often angled slightly towards you. The controls are exactly where you expect them to be. The steering feels direct and connected to the road. These aren't accidents, they are deliberate design choices made to make the act of driving more intuitive and enjoyable. It's a car that works with you, not against you. Then there's the engineering. BMW has always been an engine company at its heart, and this is evident in the smooth, powerful, and responsive engines they produce. Their speciality for many years was the straight-six engine, a design known for its perfect primary and secondary balance, which makes it incredibly smooth. Whether it's a diesel, a petrol 4-cylinder, or a monstrous V8 in an M car, there's a sense of quality and refinement to how a BMW delivers its power. This commitment to engineering excellence under the bonnet is a core part of the brand's appeal. It's the substance that backs up the style. Let's not forget the looks. Over the years, BMWs have managed to tread a fine line between being elegant and being aggressive. The proportions are almost always spot on: a long bonnet, a cabin setback, and a short rear end. This gives their cars a dynamic poised stance even when they're standing still. The kidney grille and the Hofmeister kink the little curve at the base of the rear pillar, are subtle design cues that fans instantly recognize. A BMW looks purposeful and sophisticated, which is why it appeals to so many people who want a car that is both a status symbol and a serious piece of machinery. Looking to the future, BMW is now applying all of this history and expertise to the world of electric cars. While some purists may worry, the company is proving it can build electric vehicles like the i4 and iX that still feel like proper BMWs. They are quick, they handle well, and they are packed with clever technology, all while producing zero emissions. The spirit of the 2002 lives on, just with a different power source. This ability to adapt from airplane engines to electric cars while keeping its core identity intact is why BMW remains one of the most respected and desirable car brands in the world. It's still, in essence, the ultimate driving machine.